Drummers are the pulse of the dragon boat. Their role is an essential element of any dragon boat team's performance. In this video, we'll provide an insight into the key attributes and roles of a drummer.
The AusDBF rules state the drummer must sit on the seat provided. The drummer must start actively and audibly drumming by the 50-metre mark from the start line. The drum must be clearly seen by the race officials to be struck with the drumstick on the top of the drum skin at regular intervals. Failure to actively beat the drum will result in initial warning followed by penalties being taken against the crew concerned if warnings are not complied with.
It is important that you are stable on the drum seat. The best way to do this is to sit securely on the drum seat with your legs on either side of the drum and your feet on the floor of the boat. You will be more stable this way. Relax your hips and engage your core. Gently move your hips in time with the rhythm of the boat backwards and forwards. It is very important that your body does not bounce up and down. Avoid being asked to balance the boat by moving left and right, as this may make you less stable. Due to the different structure of the boats, you may sometimes have to rest your legs on the gunwale.
Ensure you have talked with your sweep about the drummer's role in the crew. Don't overload your responsibilities at the start. Get comfortable on the drum seat and feel the rhythm of the boat. Then try the following. Hold the drumsticks firmly but with a relaxed wrist. Hit the drum firmly and aim for the center of the drum skin. You don't need to bash the drum, just make controlled, strong hits. Practice hitting the drum in time with the strokes, with strong, clear hits. You may need to watch just one stroke at the beginning, not both. It's a good idea to ask who the lead stroke is and practice hitting the drum in time with the lead stroke. Practice closing your eyes, but keep drumming. The paddlers will keep paddling. They don't rely on the stick hitting the drum. Feel the rhythm of the boat. Convey the stroke pace to all paddlers, both with the drum sound and also visually with bold arm and hand movements, mimicking the stroke movement of the paddlers. Once you feel a bit more secure and confident, lift your head and look down at the boat. Practice doing this for longer and longer periods. In a race, you need to be able to communicate with your sweep, either verbally or by using simple, clear hand signals. During windy, busy and/or noisy conditions, for example, the start of a competitive race, you may be asked to relay instructions from your sweep. You also need to be able to see all paddlers in case you need to make a constructive comment, for example, eyes up, and also to deliver the appropriate calls based on the situation, for example, timing. Practice giving an instruction but also keeping your drumming in time. Use short and clear calls. Calling and drumming at the same time is an art for the novice drummer. In a race, it can be a good idea to move your arm in time with the lead stroke, but in the first 50 meters, you don't have to hit the drum. This allows you to get the rhythm of the boat, but make sure you have checked where the 50-meter mark is, because you must be hitting the drum audibly and visibly from that point onwards. Always have some practice runs prior to competition. Take the opportunity to practice as much as possible during training runs, and ask for the support that you need.
It is important to know that the sweep is in charge of the boat. It is critical for drummers to talk with their sweep and work closely with them. Prior to the race, make sure you talk with your sweep and understand their expectations of you as the drummer. Some sweeps may want to develop simple signals to communicate during the race. Check what process the sweep wants for different situations. For example, numbering off, in case of emergency, signalling to race officials. Ensure your start calls and your calls during the race are practiced and known. Your crews will have trained to listen for and act on these calls. Race calls should be scripted and rehearsed, understood by paddlers and communicated by the drummer and sweep at crucial times in a controlled tone of voice. For example, power 10, now! In some circumstances, the sweep may ask you to take the lead on the calls. Make sure that you are ready to take this responsibility. Understand the race strategy for each distance, particularly the 2 kilometres. Know the rules of a turns race. For example, you may have to listen for the umpire calling right of way at the 50-metre mark. You may also have to indicate to your sweep and crew when a boat is fast approaching from behind or when you have to overlap, i.e. when the head of your boat is level with the steering arm of the boat being overtaken. Be familiar with your role and the process in the case of a capsize.
In training or when heading to the start line, make sure you are able to feel the rhythm of the boat and strokes so that you can keep in time. You communicate the timing of the boat by drumming, but you do not set the timing. Your strokes may ask you to give a specific instruction at certain stages in a race. Make sure you have a clear understanding with your strokes and your sweep so that you can do this. You are positioned facing all the paddlers, so you are in a good position to provide feedback and clear instructions, including from the strokes, if this has been agreed to prior to the race. Ensure any calls you make are loud, clear, short and positive so the whole crew can hear you and understand you.
There are a variety of starts depending on the regatta course. Make sure you know what the start will be, for example, standing start, rolling start, boat aligners, cup start or toggles. Be really familiar with your start sequence. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up!
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, power!
Throughout the start process, it is really important that you are calm, controlled, and positive. Guide strokes if they are drawing to keep the boat in the position that the sweep wants. Listen very carefully and focus on your boat, your sweep, and the starter. Some tips. Listen for the starter calling 2 minutes to race start. When in your start position, check that you can hear the starter who will check in with all boats. The start sequence is often fast. Once the starter has lined up the boats, they will want to start the race as soon as possible, so you need to be ready. Do not repeat the calls of the starter. Make sure you know the go command. It might be a voice, a beep, or a horn. Work closely with the sweep and the strokes to keep the boat in the preferred position. For example, asking the crew to hold for drift or draw water. Make sure you know what drawing is and assist the strokes with drawing if appropriate. When the starter calls, "Are you ready?" raise your arm closest to the starter. If your boat is not ready, fully extend your arm above your head so the starter can see your arm. Do not raise your arm prior to the starter asking the question. Remember that the starter wants a clean start and, importantly, a timely start. Do not raise your arm unless you have a very good reason to halt the start sequence. Crew errors, such as a crew member dropping a paddle or the boat drifting off the preferred line, are not considered a good reason to raise your arm. If there is an equipment failure in your boat in the first 50 metres, for example, a broken sweep oar, raise your arm immediately to signify there is an issue so the race can be stopped or restarted. The sweep cannot see what is happening behind them. It is important for the drummer to keep watch on what is happening in case they need to warn the sweep to take evasive action, alert the sweep to a boat coming up on the inside in a turns race, or if other action is requested by the course umpire. The drummer is able to see all paddlers and the sweep. They are in the best position to detect any medical emergency. The distress signal is used by the drummer to gain the attention of the safety boat. The international distress signal is actioned by placing your arms in the outstretched position horizontal to the sides of the body, then raising your arms to the vertical position and crossing your arms above your head, then returning your arms to the horizontal position. This action is repeated until the rescue or safety boat responds.
Characteristics of a good drummer. Be familiar with dragon boating. Be able to project your voice loudly and clearly without yelling. Encourage the crew to be calm and focused at the start line, perhaps with some breathing exercises if there is time. Use positive instructions. Heads up. Stay long. Have a good balance and core strength. Have the skill to read the situation to take the lead if needed. For example, if conditions are really difficult at the start, the sweep might ask you to lead the calls. Possess the skills to keep the boat calm, controlled, focused, and positive.
DBV hopes this video has been helpful. We hope you enjoy your drumming experience and career.